Following Fallout 4, a lot of Bethesda Game Studios fans are wondering what could be next. It's now been over 2 years since they released Fallout 4, and it's also been over a year since the last DLC expansion, Nuka World, was released. Initially around 2015, a lot of people assumed the Elder Scrolls 6 was next, possibly seeing as go to Valenwood or maybe even Akavir, but at E3 2016, Todd Howard shocked many fans with the following comments.
Are you guys going to do an Elder Scrolls 6?
I mean, that's kind of like the elephant in the room always when we talk about anything, and you know, I think it's good to, in these moments, to tell our fans, yes, of course we are.
Okay.
You know, it's something we love, but it is, you know, I have to be careful what I say. It's a very long way off. I could sit here and explain the game to you, and you would say, that sounds like you don't even have the technology. How long is that going to take? And so it's something that is going to take a lot of time, what we have in mind for that game. And we actually have 2 other large projects we're also doing that are bigger than anything we've done. And people will probably hear about those even before Elder Scrolls 6. And that'll make sense many years from now.
Okay. So that's amazing. So you have a vision in your head of what you want Elder Scrolls 6 to be.
We think very long term. We're not a developer that's going to like rush something like this out. Any of our games. So when you think about what is the future of that kind of game, you know, we have a pretty good idea of what it would be, and it's just going to take technology and time that really we don't have necessarily right now.
So you may be asking then, if we're not getting Elder Scrolls 6 and more than likely Fallout 5 is going to come after the Elder Scrolls 6, which will be a long time from now, what could be next? The answer is more than likely Starfield, which is a mysterious trademark that Bethesda's parent company ZeniMax registered in 2013. The trademark was listed originally for t-shirts and computer and console games. Recently, in 2017, this trademark was renewed, but now also covering mobile games. The assumption is that Starfield could possibly be treated the same way as Fallout 4, with it receiving a spin-off mobile game like Fallout Shelter that releases beforehand. So the question is, if Starfield is next, what is it? For right now, it's mainly speculation based off of solely its title, with the most common theories being that it's going to be a space sci-fi RPG that could see us exploring different planets, being something similar to No Man's Sky. But in this case, having a big AAA developer like Bethesda Game Studios creating an experience that will hopefully see a larger emphasis on the story, characters, and worlds. But again, this is all speculation. All we really can gather is it's going to be much different than Fallout or Elder Scrolls. Now, some people have had trouble believing Bethesda, seeing that it makes no sense for them to do something other than the Elder Scrolls 6. Bethesda's Pete Hines explained at E3 2017 what their game studio is working on.
You mentioned BGS. Last year, Todd was here and kind of broke a little bit of news that the multiple projects sort of in the works there. You know, another Elder Scrolls down the road, and you probably answer questions every day on Twitter about
down the road. Down the road.
A few games down the road.
To reiterate, they have at least 2 major titles that they are working on before we're going to get to Elder Scrolls 6.
But obviously, yeah, you said, and it feels like you said. I think some people interpret that like, oh, they're working on all 3 at once, but it's sort of like you have to.
No,
slots,
we're pretty
right?
clear. Like, Test 6 is not in dev while we work on. I mean, we're not talking about small things. We're not talking about like a Fallout Shelter kind of project, like big multi-platform releases like you expect from BGS.
Well, and that's the thing is, I'm sure you see all the rumors.
Since Fallout 4 released, Bethesda has given many hints to what to expect from their next RPG. In early 2016, Bethesda Game Studios listed some eye-catching job positions looking for a new engine programmer, a gameplay programmer, and 2 graphics programmers. Interestingly, the job descriptions for each programming position includes the following phrase: pushing the bleeding edge of RPG development for the PC and consoles, which suggests that Bethesda is looking to try new things with their upcoming games. Head of Bethesda Game Studios Todd Howard in the early part of 2017 did a series of interviews, and the elephant in the room did pop up. First, he was speaking to Glixel when he was asked about their upcoming games, saying, "We've got a good number of projects on the go. We're bigger now and we do want to be putting out more stuff. We have 2 larger projects that are more classically the scale of what we do, but even bigger. We overlap the projects, so we're working on them at the same time, but they're staggered. I can't can't talk a lot about them, but I can say that they're bigger than anything we've ever done. They're a bit different, but definitely in the wheelhouse that people are used to from us. Then in an interview around the same time with Game Informer, Todd was asked the following question. Bethesda has always traded in fantasy and post-apocalyptic settings. Have you thought about getting out of the comfort zone and doing something a little different? At which Todd responds saying, sure, we always do. We've dabbled in those things before and they've never really went anywhere. But like anybody else, we have a lot of ideas and we're going to see where some of those go, definitely. Within another interview, this time with Polygon, which I should note, I believe all these interviews were conducted in February of 2017, but Todd had this to say about improving certain aspects of future games. I think we have a very long way to go in how the other characters act and react to you. That's the big issue we're trying to solve. We're pretty good at pushing technology and world building, we have a good handle on game flow, the rate you get new things, how you're rewarded over time, but we need to be innovating on characters. He would also finish this interview with the following statement. There's a long way to go. We have so many ideas that we did not think we were ready for, but given our size now and how the tech is coming together, we can do some of those things that we've talked about for a very long time. Now they are within our grasp. Right before E3 2017, another job listing was found from Bethesda Game Studios, in which it says they are looking for a game performance manager based in Montreal to join the team that is pushing the bleeding edge AAA freemium game development. It would also have some eye-catching responsibilities such as work with the game design team on monetization design, strategy and execution, and vision in game content and business model recommendations, and set requirements and create specifications for monetization features. As Todd Howard stated in one of his interviews, Montreal is not just mobile games. I think that's a big misconception that a lot of people make, but he specifically added that they have helped on Skyrim and Fallout 4. He considers that Montreal and Maryland are just one big studio together. This job position is related to AAA games, not a mobile game, so it does look like there is a chance that Starfield could be a game that features microtransactions in some capacity. With the recent controversies, we don't know if that impacts things, as well as Starfield could feature a multiplayer, something that Todd Howard has said they have explored for a very long time in past games, but ultimately it was always scrapped. The words freemium is eye-catching and scary, but don't be fooled, Montreal does not just make mobile games, and this is not what this job position pertains to. But again, remember, Bethesda has 3 projects, one of those being Elder Scrolls 6 and the other being Starfield, and we have to assume that Starfield is nearing the end of development. It would also make sense that the game that follows is what this job position may be pertaining to. So my guess would be that Starfield is just like Fallout 4, Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim, and the game that follows may be an RPG, but one that's a freemium title, meaning it's free to play, but it makes its money from microtransactions. Again though, that is just speculation, but even seeing that it looks like Bethesda is making a game with a freemium model is a bit scary in my opinion. But the final thing that needs to be said about Starfield is the awkward E3 2017 conference. As many have pointed out, for no reason at all, stars were present throughout the showcase. Days before the event, an apparent Bethesda employee claimed that Starfield was going to be revealed. The leaker appeared to be fake, but it still was a very odd conference. From the short 40-minute showcase to the whole layout, it truly seems that E3 2017 could have been when Bethesda was going to reveal their next game, but at the last minute chose not to. Anyway, we still don't know much about what Starfield actually is, but it for sure seems like Bethesda Game Studios wants to improve their games. Hopefully that will see the outdated game engine gone and more of an emphasis on the RPG element, which was almost non-existent in Fallout 4. Starfield rumors should begin to pick up in the coming months, as a late 2018 release makes the most sense at this point. Either way, all eyes will be on E3 2018, where it's most probable that the game is revealed. But what do you think of Bethesda's upcoming games and Starfield? Let me know in the comment section below, but thank you for watching. Make sure to like the video if you did enjoy or found any informative value, and consider subscribing for more videos like this, and I'll see you later.